Can you say your name and say that again?
Welcome to another episode of OhManPodcast. Can we get some energy? Woo!
What's good?
Can we get the crowd going? Fiona, can I get your level up a bit here, please? Yes. All right, you're welcome to another episode of OhManPodcast. You got Opizzy on today's episode. To my left, we have...
It's your boy Ajiks, aka Dami.
You fully skipped me.
I did it on purpose.
This is new.
No, you know, when he was saying it, I was like, okay, where's it going to go?
No.
Like, fully jumped and skipped me. Like, I am bloody.
No, oops. Don't worry. I know exactly what you were going to do.
Thank you.
This is the first time our guest has been, that excited to be introduced. We don't normally have this. So.
I'm a huge fan, okay?
You really wanted to just go next.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Introduce yourself, guest.
Hi, guys. My name's Fiona. I'm glad to be here.
Woo. So you interrupted that for that introduction.
As long as my name was said, that's
there you go. All right. And to my right, we have
the one and the only Simba in the building. What's good?
There's nobody else. Anybody else is a counterfeit.
There's one guy that's calling himself Simba in this country right now.
Oh?
This is deep.
I wouldn't have that.
I'm looking at you. I hope you're watching this.
Is he black?
Change your name. Simba's copyright.
What does this mean?
He's in the middle. In between. Take this very personally, Simba, young Simba. What do you call yourself?
But what if he had his name first?
He didn't.
That's a man that knows. All right. So we're just going to go into the episode. So how are you guys? How's the week? Lads, I hate mentioning this corona thing, but it's taken over our lives to the fact that I woke up today not knowing it was Sunday.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like the days feel all mashed up together for me.
100%.
And even like, I'm asking what you guys did. I don't know what I did yesterday or like last week because it feels like repetitive.
Yeah.
What did I do yesterday? I baked cookies yesterday.
Okay. What kind of cookies?
Chocolate chip cookies. And
why'd you say it like that?
because I was trying to think like what other type of cookies are there?
There's loads of other cookies.
But no. Are there?
Yeah, cookie dough.
He's on the spot now.
Birthday cake.
What did you just say?
Do me a favor, please.
He said birthday
Get
cake
out of
cookie.
here.
Yeah, have you never seen it?
Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm
Go to
saying.
Tesco.
Stop.
Go on Tesco.ie
Is that the one
right
with the
now.
sprinkles? Oh, that
Thank you.
one.
What?
Not having it.
Well, we're gonna have to go on Tesco, but yeah, you bake cookies.
Yeah, that's literally the highlight of my day. And I started watching Emily in Paris on Netflix.
That show is fantastic.
So good. Oh my God, amazing
Wait,
stuff.
what show?
Emily in Paris.
I've seen it come up on Netflix.
No, it's so good. They said it's 12, but I don't think it's 12. It should be 15s.
Yeah.
And then my mom was watching it with me.
Right, is that some explicit content?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that
breasts,
now.
They're showing breast in it as well.
Yeah, talking
That's
about
not 12.
pussy
But that's
and stuff.
everywhere, like.
That's not 12.
That's not 12, no, it's not 12.
They're talking about vagina and everything.
Yeah.
In this modern society, is it 12?
No, 100% should be. Yeah.
In this modern society,
No, it shouldn't be 12. That's it.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't
Raise
be
the
12.
age, please. 12, seeing breasts, no
And
chance.
masturbation and stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay.
Wouldn't be talking about that with a 12-year-old.
So that was a nice Saturday for yourself, yeah?
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't masturbate. The show was talking about masturbate. Oh no, not me. No.
Listen, at the end of the day, we don't discriminate or judge.
No, the show.
Emily in Paris, got you. But yeah, so we're going to go into the main topic, right? So we're still staying on the breaking the cycle segment. Thank you very much for joining us, Fiona.
No problem.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship. And personally, you're someone that I've actually like admired from afar in sense, like I like how you go about your things. Very
Can't even be cute about it.
Stop.
You see what I'm doing there? But yeah, like I like how you maneuver, and Resconcepts, fantastic brand. I want you to talk to us a little bit about like, you know, what motivated you to start Resconcepts and the meaning behind Resconcepts and what it is generally.
Okay, so Resconcepts is an event production company. So I came about it by having a passion for anything kind of event related. So I did events with the African Society in college. And
what college did you go to?
I went to DCU. So
Cut that out.
DCU, you know, best African Society ever. Thanks to me. So yeah, I did events in college for 2 years. So it was from a range of things, not just parties. We did fashion shows, we did seminars, we did like games nights, we did the obvious parties and stuff like that. And the first one that I ever did was a fashion show in second year.
The DCU fashion show.
Yeah,
that was you.
That was me.
Woo!
Yeah.
One or two of those fashion shows.
Yeah.
That was me.
Okay.
So I did that with Oyin.
Oyinza?
So yeah, Oyinza. So I was the event manager, and they asked me to. Well, they said, we're doing a fashion show. And the first time I went was in first year. It was very like, it was cute. It was like, yeah, this is nice. People wore their own clothes for a fashion show, which didn't make sense to me. I was like, oh, yeah, this is cute, grand, no problem. They're like, yeah, it's an annual thing. We won't do it again. So I was like, all right, cool, no problem. But at that point in time, I think Oyin just finished her reign as Miss Nigeria. She's going to kill me for saying this. She's going to kill me for saying this. But yeah, I didn't know her personally, but we had each other on Facebook, and I just used to see her like going around walking in shows herself. So I was like, oh, do you know what? She would know stuff about fashion shows. Let me reach out to her. Fast forward later, this thing happened, which was bigger than what we both anticipated. And I remember just the thrill, the excitement, the nerves. Like,
stressed out that day.
I was stressed. Like, it was a horrible day. It was so, I hated that day so much. But looking back on it, like, all that stress and all just made it so worth it, because we did not expect that many people there.
And I think that's the best part of planning an event, because it's just words on paper.
Exactly.
And it's just like in your head. But then when the vision
comes to life. Yeah.
It's almost overwhelming. It's like,
so
I didn't
rewarding.
expect this.
Yeah.
But like,
no,
okay,
it's
great.
so rewarding.
You start panicking like, shit, I didn't expect this.
I didn't prepare too much. Oh my God.
So rewarding. Like, so yeah, fast forward, finished college. Then I was like, do you know what? I started working. This is what happened. I started working full-time professionally. And I think within my first week, I was like, I cannot do this for the rest of my life.
So working full-time, do shit. You start thinking, what else can I do? What else?
I remember just saying,
after like,
because I was so excited, because I'd been in retail for 3 or 4 years. So I was so excited. I was like, I can actually sit down on the job. I was so happy. Then after the first 2-3 days, it wasn't up to a week. I was like, no.
Because
Nah, do you know what's funny? That means you're still in training. That means you haven't even started.
It's only been 2 years. Like, I was just no.
I bet you it was the realization when you got back from work and you had nothing else to do.
That's what it was.
You were like,
or you didn't have that many hours left in the day.
Because for me, I used to work in Dundrum and I live in Nace. So I'd go from Dundrum to Nace every day. I'm taking 2 hours in the morning to commute, 2 hours to commute back home.
On your first professional job?
First professional job. This was even before I had to drive because of this. Because I was like, I can't be taken. Because I used to get the train, the Lewis, the bus.
You just do it for like a month or two before you know that. Yeah.
This is not sustainable.
I didn't want to leave.
On your body.
I didn't want to leave my house, so I was like, I need to learn how to drive. So after that week, I was like, I need to do something. Like, this can't be it. And it wasn't even for money. I wasn't looking to do something for money. Like, I just want something to do fun. Because the weekend came, I was like, okay, what do I do now? Nothing. Not every weekend party, But anyway, so I was like, okay, what do I like? This whole question. I'm like, oh, what am I good at? What do I like? What can I see myself doing? Started Googling. Then I remember, events. And then, there were already people doing events in Dublin. Didn't want to step on anyone's toes or anything like that.
We'll get to that.
But I was like, okay, let me actually do a course in this, see if I actually do like it, learn, because I'm...
Wait, you did a course in...
Yeah, I did a diploma in event management and PR.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How long was that?
That was for 6 months and in DBS. So I did that part-time while working. That's when I discovered I actually want to do this, because it made me see so many gaps and holes in the current event system we have now.
So what you did there is you found something that you wanted to do, you did research, and you actually got additional education on that. And then that opened your eyes to see, wow, okay, there's things not happening here that I can feel.
Yeah, literally. That's literally
So you basically took advantage of what was your passion. Like you saw your passion and you took advantage of the information that was around you.
That you followed that up. That's so important.
Yeah, like I educated myself, because a lot of people kind of just go full on into something without educating. And sometimes it works out for them. You learn along the way. But sometimes, and most of the time, you can tell that it doesn't work for you. Go back and re-educate yourself.
Go back to the drawing board.
Literally go back to the drawing board. So did that, finished that course. And then I was like, okay, I have to put what I learned to practice. And then I don't even know how it came about. I just randomly got the idea to do a karaoke thing. So I remember I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do this, but I had to. So what I did is I put out this kind of brand. I was like, oh, everyone go follow this. So people start following it. And then I was like, okay, have to associate something to it. So I was like, okay, me personally, I don't really like clubbing. So I know I didn't want to do clubbing stuff, and there's a lot of clubbing stuff. It's very saturated,
It became cliche.
There's a lot of clubbing stuff. You see the same faces, you hear the same music. So I was like, I want to do something different. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to do. So I don't even know how karaoke came about. Me and my friends were drunk one night and just singing at the top of our lungs. Literally, that was it.
The best ideas come when you're drunk.
That was literally it. So I was like, oh, do you know what? This would be nice as an event. And then I kind of, I made it more niche to make it 90s and noughties music. So it's not music you typically hear on a night out. So people who are interested in that style of music, there's more incentive for you to come. So and
it's more targeted at certain people that might not necessarily like going out, but they also love music.
And these are literally things I learned as part of my course. Like you're putting out a product, you need to have your niche market. And then once you focus on your niche market, then if you want, you can attend to anyone else.
Exactly.
But the most important thing is your niche. So my niche was 21 and above. You're interested in 90s and noughties, hip hop and R&B music. You don't want a night out. You're literally back in your bed by midnight. And it's a bank holiday weekend where people who work professionally try and make the most advantage of. So those were my, those were my factors. And I produced something to target all those factors.
Factors of production.
And to God be the glory.
You know about it.
To God be the glory. Thanks to Okpa here and Jocelyn and everyone who attended. The night was a success.
It was a great night, and that, I suppose, gave birth to Resconcepts.
That gave birth to Resconcepts, which our tagline is we host, manage, and produce events for ourselves and you. Oh. And the vision is your reality. No, that's wrong. Your imagination and our creativity become the reality. That's all that stuff.
That's a lot of assimilation.
Yeah. It took me a long time to come up with all that shit, man. Just sound good. But that's Resconcepts. So done the karaoke. So the whole point of Resconcepts was to do I wanted to do 2 years of social stuff just to get people, so people know what it is, because there's been a market here for people doing events and stuff like that. And I think, quote me if I'm wrong, I think I'm kind of like the only female who does social events. I haven't seen any other females do social events.
I haven't seen any either.
I haven't seen any.
There's nobody else. There's only males trying to throw parties in the club.
I'm a pioneer.
It's only DJs. It's only Mona Lisa. That's the
quick. Can we get the crowd noise for that one?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep, that's right,
So I'm a female. I'm a woman coming into this kind of industry and it's unknown and
territory.
It's with the black scene, it's a lot of
I'd say because I think to pay off the next question, I want to go I'm sure being a female entrepreneur in this new industry, you would have faced some challenges to that would make you why am I even doing this, or that would question you continue on with your passion because you didn't write that part when you were thinking about what you wanted to do. So what kind of challenges would you have faced in that regard?
So I remember after the karaoke, I got a DM on Instagram, and this person was like, hey, because one thing about Resconcepts is a lot of people didn't know I'm the one that does it. So they were like, oh, they've been asking.
And I like that. You just...
Yeah, should I tell you why?
Yeah.
It's because I just didn't want people, I want people to separate. If you have a problem with me, don't have a problem with my business.
Yeah,
That's how it's supposed to be.
And that's the problem with ours.
And especially with women as well. Like women...
I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, no, women dislike each other. Like there was, I seen some saying that a lot of...
wouldn't have come if they knew it was you, which is true.
A lot of girls don't like each other because of men, which is true, you know? Not that I stole anybody's man, but like, you know...
Also, that tweet, I don't know like how true it is to men. Like, I don't think we're the cause of that.
It's not that you're the cause,
problem.
but we create problems out of that.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I think that's the better way to put it, because it made it seim like, you know...
Yeah, no, it's not that. It's not
When
that.
you look like, we're like...
No. Women like to create
Even
problems
if
with
it
each
looks like
other.
that, that's their own business. Like, what's the problem? Like, what?
Yeah, but they be tarnishing our name then.
Yeah, no, but what was I saying?
Silly.
Yeah, so he was like, oh yeah, he had to ask around and found out it was me. And I was like, why didn't you just DM the page? Why are you DMing me personally? But whatever. So the guy was like, oh, let's meet up for a chat. And I was like, all right, cool, no problem. So met up. And then he's like, oh yeah, he goes, oh yeah, I've seen videos of your little event. Da, 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 da. And I was like, excuse me? I had over 100 people.
Condescending, belittling words already. I was thrown in at this chat.
I had more people than I anticipated there, because the reason I used that specific venue is because me, I thought maximum 50 people will come.
I was going to ask you, what would you, like, before that karaoke event, you would have obviously had a couple of things that you might have been going over in your head, like, would number of people attending be one of your fears?
Oh yeah, definitely, because no one knows. Like, just random person came up with this random, because I haven't seen anything like it before. So this random event with this random person, like, what's this? And I feel like in Ireland, especially, we're just, familiarity is such a bad thing. I hate familiarity so much. You're not familiar with something, so you don't go. You let people go, and then you're like, oh, next one I'll go. But no, like,
it's a crap.
Variety is the spice of life.
The good thing is that before the karaoke happened, it was popping on Twitter. So we okay, yeah.
That's why it's good to have friends that are active on Twitter.
It was popping on Twitter. It was out there.
Yeah. No, but
Your marketing skills on that regard was good.
It was good.
Oh, thank you. I don't even remember what I did, but thank you. So yeah, the guy was like, let's meet up. So he was like, yeah, I've seen people at your event. So what is it you're trying to do? And it's like, ideally, the vision is to actually produce stuff for people. But before I can do it for people, I have to do it for myself. For people to see, oh, this is what she can do. And then I'm never going to forget this. I say this to anyone who asks me this question, don't come and beat me. But the person was like, oh, you're never going to get work like that. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, why would people pay you to produce events for them? I was like, yeah, bet. I was just like, bet. Literally.
The person is probably old.
I'm never, ever going to forget it, because it was literally like 2 weeks after the event. And I remember I was so like,
Happy.
I actually wanted to like just stop. I was like,
because of that. Sorry.
Yeah, because it really,
do that.
It really got to me. And I'll tell you guys who it was once all this is over. But like, it was just like,
take an educated guess.
If you're,
no, there's a few names in my head I can't.
I was like, if you're saying this to me, but like, you know, you're respected in this industry, and you're saying this to me, I'm like, okay, then I guess there's really no hope for someone like me. But I was like, you know what, fuck this. I got educated in this. I'm pretty sure you didn't. But anyway, it is what it is. We move on. And then literally a month later, the person's like, oh, do you want to collaborate to do an event? I was like, fuck off.
Wait. My man came back and asked for a collab.
No, he asked for a collab. And then he also asked, oh, will I sell him my event? And I was like, what do you mean sell you the event? And he was like, oh, the event will be his moving forward. So basically, I sold him the rights.
The man saw the value
to the event.
Basically, asking to take ownership of
it. More or less.
You bring the clients, I'll take care of it.
Not even I bring the clients. He gives me money. He gave me a specific figure. He gives me money, and I disassociate myself from the event. So moving forward, anything like that is his. So it'll be his brand, his title. But was it supposed
to be like continuous? What you keep doing your bit, and then his name.
I can do anything else I want to do, but I can't do that specific event.
Of karaoke night.
He wanted to buy it out.
Yeah.
He wanted to buy the idea.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to do.
He doesn't have the money to buy the idea.
His life is funny.
It's very hilarious.
So I was like, oh, well, clearly I've got good ideas now, don't I? But anyway, yeah, so that, like, stuff like that, that's something I faced in the, whatchamacallit, in the scene. Another one is, I don't know, just, so I've, with COVID now, like, I've had to kind of go back to the drawing board, because I wanted to do social for 2 years, then focus on doing stuff for other people. But like, it's hard to do social now at these times. So I had to kind of accelerate my plan and what I wanted to do. So It's just stuff like when you're working with like vendors and suppliers of different things. Like I did a wedding in August, and
that's
just
big, to go from throwing events for your peers to doing a wedding.
Shout out to you, man.
Thank
like
you.
even the whole vision, like the way you went about it, and why I touched on the challenges is because whatever industry or whatever you're doing, there's always going to be challenges because you don't plan for it, but things will
so much unknown.
So much unknown that things will get in the way of you getting to what you want to do. But you stayed resolute and you kept going to where you are today. And I think the 1 year anniversary you had on IG Live, that was I enjoyed myself.
I hated that so much because I had to show my face.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because you revealed who was behind.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do that.
And it was I thought it was empowering for a lot of people because around that time, because that's when a lot of brands were popping up or new brands were coming out. So it was like you were already out here. Like you were already out here. So like, what are your views on like the female entrepreneurship at the moment?
I love it. I love that, ladies are being creative and doing what they're doing. Like we have people like Nina doing that culture vision thing.
That's
sweet.
That is sweet.
I love the tactic for that one.
That is sick.
Just drop them.
Literally,
simmer.
we have Soso Lux. Soso Lux is amazing. Man. She's a darling. She's literally the best ever. We have people like Addie with her hair salon and stuff like that, So I do love like women coming out and doing all these things. But one thing I would say about that is that people I've seen some things that people do just to compete with other people. Like people will get into business
out of competition
to compete with somebody else. And
is that a bad thing?
It's not born out of passion.
It's kind of more out of spite.
Yeah.
What if the quality is better?
But that's the thing. Sometimes the quality isn't even that great.
Sometimes a lot of the time.
Yeah,
In what regard? In the person that started their brand out of competition or the competition itself? Because so then where do we like draw the line in terms of quality? Like we're seeing a lot of brands, a lot of, both like male and female brands, but like in terms of the quality, why I'm asking is because there was a tweet in the summer that said Irish people don't support each other. But like me personally, I will only support something if I see its quality and it's done consistently.
That's the key thing, consistency. People, what I've noticed, especially like with this time we're in, a lot of people came out with like, content creation, like YouTube or doing makeup or whatever. And then when we kind of got that little bit of freedom between June, July, August, it died down a lot. And I'm not saying like, oh, you have to do it every single day. I'm just saying that before people go into things, you have to see ahead before you start. And yeah, exactly. And like, I remember when I wanted to start this Resconcepts, I said it to my parents. And they were like, you shall go into school, you can do whatever you want to do. Like, but my dad said to me, he's like, just where do you see yourself in 5 years with this thing? And I was like, I don't know. He goes, so why are you starting it? And I was like, it's actually true, If you can't see where you're going, my piece of advice to anyone is if you can't see where it's going to be in 5 years, don't start. Don't start because it's from 5 years, you work backwards. If I see this vision I want in 5 years, then I know what I want to do by this time next year. Then I know what I want to do by the second half of the year kind of thing. So I just feel people, and a lot of times I'm seeing people bring out brands, bring out businesses, bring out whatever, just to put CEO in their bio.
Yeah, like it's because the people had free time.
You're putting CEO, you haven't even registered the company. You're not a CEO.
Usually like when life is going on, you don't have the free time to do those things. So for you to allocate the free time, you have to care about that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but could it not have been a thing that this is something that they've always been passionate about, but coronavirus now gave them the free time?
Yeah, but
regardless, foresight still required, planning. Yeah. If you don't do all of those, like the steps we're talking about, Fiona took at the start in order to actualize her dream.
Beautiful.
There's steps that need to be taken. Even if you are passionate about something, but you decide you're going to skip the opening steps, I think you can just land in the middle and then go to profit. We've seen it and we will continue to see it. It's not sustainable. So I think that's what she's alluding to, is that we're seeing the unsustainable type of starts and businesses versus the ones that have become sustainable, like the Soul Locks, like the Addy hair.
Did you guys see the way Soul Locks launched herself? Like I remember seeing the first tweet, I was like, wow, this is good.
That
this
video
is really good.
When the hair did I said I need hair like that. I need hair like.
But it's the type of ad you see on the TV and would make you
exactly what
I want L'Oreal and co.
You said I have to.
I need to have that hair, and I remember I contacted her. She gave me the price. I said, I'll come back to you.
And you weren't even on why are you charging that much? You immediately understood.
I saw the quality by the way she advertised herself, by what she brought out. And the price she gave was justifiable. She's put in, you can tell that's someone who invests their time and their effort into their craft. A lot of people don't do that.
Is that key to being a consumer of these brands or of a brand in terms of you should know what you're paying for? Because when you said that, Fiona didn't haggle about the price. We have a lot of people that haggle.
I know.
Is it just because they don't believe in that brand, or is it because they don't know what they're paying for?
I think so. No, it could be.
People just want to comment on brands.
Yeah, and I think it's a mixture of both. I think that you can get it cheaper somewhere else, but it's not going to be the same quality. Yeah. But to you, you're like, is it not just hair? You know? Using hair, for example, is it not
people
just
overstate their importance too much?
I can get this on AliExpress for half the price.
Then shut up and go do it, innit?
Like you being a producer, would anybody ever haggle with price?
I haven't been haggled in a long time.
But you have been.
I used to, what?
Especially since you moved into Jungle Beam, innit?
Yeah, I haven't been haggling in probably 2-3 years. But before that, people were, no, bring it down. I'm like, no, bros, you can't do that.
And do you know why? It's because they've seen the quality.
Yeah, people don't see the value. They be like, it's not worth that.
I think what a lot of people need to understand is that your work speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So if your work isn't that high standard, high quality that people perceive it to be, like if people want to haggle your price and you actually agree to haggle your price, if I haggle my price with Tunini and I'm like, let me use your studio for 20 euro an hour, and Tunini, yeah, sure, no problem. I will go out and say, he let me use it for 20 euro an hour.
And then somebody else to come.
And then someone like, sure, Fiona, I got it for 20 euro an hour.
I had that problem before.
You know?
I would tell me, yo, man, we do it. Don't tell anyone, yeah?
Yeah. But then if he has a set price of, I don't know, let's say 80 euro an hour, and I'm like, can you not do it for 15? He's like, no, it's 80. And I'm like, okay, do you know what? Because I really want you to do this, I'll pay the 80. No one can be like, let me just negotiate price, because you're like, no, take it or leave it. Exactly. If you can't take it, go somewhere else and do it. Literally.
People be saying, can I just book through you? I'm like, no, bro, you have to book online.
Yeah.
Just book it's easy. Just go online.
I think it's that whole mentality. In the market space, we like to price this.
Come on now.
Is that because even when you're in the market in Nigeria and people are pricing, I'm like, it's already cheap. What are you pricing for?
But people don't understand that not all markets are the same.
That's the thing.
But that's the thing. Yeah, not all markets are the same. But in economics, if you can always get a better deal,
you try for it.
You gotta try for it.
But in the corporate world where things are structured with, you don't go there to.
And that's the thing. It's not
you go to Tesco and ask them to negotiate on the Pringles.
It says €2. I give you 150.
You get to the table 180. They will do it.
I said, get out of here, man. And that's what I'm saying. That's when the quality will now speak for itself. If you don't want to pay, all right, cool. So long, bon voyage.
And then the next consumer will come and collect.
Exactly. There will always be someone that will pay that price. So it's just to find the right people to do that.
What are, because we're coming to a close, to kind of round off this segment, because we're talking about breaking the cycle, right?
Yeah.
And in your opinion, what do you think gives passion to that to start it, or
what are the driving forces behind women starting their own businesses? Because it's a male, or how do you say it? It's a men's world, as they say.
Yeah.
So what's the driving force behind
I actually think that is the driving force, because it is seen as a man's world. So, we still have these stupid gender inequality pay and all that type of stuff. And a lot of people are just I'd say they're kind of stepping into their excellence, and they're like, do you know what? I can do this. I can make money from it. Might as well do it. And social media as well, I feel, is such a driving force, because as a nation, Ireland, we're literally in the middle. We have the States to one side, we have the UK to one side. So we're in the middle and we're consuming things from both sides. So the fact that we're seeing, who was it? B. Simone made $1 million in 24 hours. We're seeing huge YouTubers like Patricia Bright, Nella Rose, all them people on the other side, So as people who are getting all this content and we have direct access, like what we were saying earlier. We have direct access to all these people because they're putting up screenshots of, oh, I just made $1 million in 12 hours or whatever. So it's like, if they can do it, why can't I? You know, if they're starting some, why can't I? People are selling stuff like black soap. When I seen that, I was like, go on, black soap, whipped shea butter. Like, this is stuff that you can do, but people are selling it and they're making money from it because there's a market. There's a market for everything. Whatever idea you have, I honestly believe there is a market for everything. And
like you said, you just have to find the gaps.
You just have to find the gap and you have to refine your skills and your craft to make it different. There are literally, I can name 10 makeup artists for you right now in this moment in time, but each makeup artist has something different that they do. One person would do their eyebrows in a certain way. One person works really good with skin. Another person uses dramatic lashes. Another person blends their eyeshadow amazingly. So depending on what I'm feeling, or if I want my skin to, really glow, really reflect, I'll go to this makeup artist. If I want my eyebrows to look this way, I'll go to that makeup artist. So I just feel like, because we've been so fed with what's going on in other societies, other countries, I think people are just getting to that point. Like, do you know what? I'm not going to dull. No dulling. Me too. Let me stand up and do what I want to do. And I think why women are doing it more is because I've noticed that women like to do this whole kind of like competitive thing. You know, we like to compete with ourselves. It can be friendly, it can be vicious, malicious, or whatever the word is. But we do like to be like, oh, she's doing this. Me too. Me, I can do this. I can even do it better.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a pride.
A cheeky bit of arrogance.
Exactly. Yeah. And if it's making you come out with a business that's successful, go on, darling. Do it.
Okay, that's finished.
Would you say the fact that you mentioned the fact that, there's more influences from the UK and America and the content that you're consuming, would you say it's helped having role models that have gone into the different businesses that are women from the UK, just helps the whole Irish scene.
100%.
Like, you know what? We can do this too.
Yeah, 100%.
Our content is consumable.
Yeah.
Because it's even more digestible because we're influenced by both. Yeah. So both of them can actually...
And we're giving our coins to them, true. Mm-hmm. Women can commonly say that they were giving their coins to either following the different influencers. It's like, okay, if I'm giving my coins to them, someone can give me coins if I because I have the craft, I have the skill.
Yeah.
So why not? So I think I was asking you that, does it help having kind of like role models?
Oh yeah. I remember now. Thank you. I feel like especially in Ireland, because we don't really have like pillars to look up to, we don't have like,
this set person that
exactly. We haven't. This person has paved the way. They're a trailblazer. They're doing this. So me too. I want to follow in that footsteps. So having people in the UK, people in the US, looking up to them, like the role models that you said, has made people be like, okay, like for me, I know why I did this is because I haven't seen anyone else do it. I want. Not even my kids, but people like I have a younger cousin. She's how old? 14? No, she's not 14. She's like 16 or something. And she's like, you know what? The fact that you do that is so cool. It's so this. Mm-hmm. It's giving me confidence to do this, this, and this. I just want people to be like, oh, you know what? If Fiona can do it, why can't I?
I'm not gonna lie. My little cousin, she is 16 as well. She just turned 16, and she like bakes and stuff at home. And the reason why she started is because she saw the bakery pages that like Millie's Magic or News Cupcakes they all started. That gave her the confidence, like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it too. And it's like, yes, that's exactly what we want.
There's this thing that's like, you don't have to change the entire world. You just have to change your world. So you just have to change your world. So if you take the necessary steps to change your world, you're like, okay, I'm going to step out and do this. And then people around you are like, oh, do you know what? If she can, like, what really touched my heart is when I started this event thing, my mom came to me, she said, you've given me the courage to go back to school.
Wow.
My mom said that to me. She went back and she studied what she wanted to study since she was in Nigeria.
I think as human beings, when we see one person conquer their fears, it gives you the courage to conquer yours.
And we don't speak about our fears enough.
Exactly.
In order to feel comfortable enough to, find avenues to deal with it.
Because that's huge. Like yours is like you're chasing your passion, but because your passion is event management, but because she saw you doing that, she decided to chase her passion, which is get back her education. And that's great.
Exactly. And I just feel like, people just need to, like, I'm not saying, oh, don't start a business. Start whatever you want to start. Nobody's holding you down. I just feel people need to just take the time out to just educate themselves before they launch something. Be it music, fashion, makeup, whatever it is. Because now, especially with access to like Instagram, Twitter and stuff like that, there is kind of like a level of quality expected. Yeah. And it shouldn't be that, oh, because I'm Black and I'm from Ireland, I shouldn't meet that level. No. One thing, especially the Irish market, because you have an Irish business, don't think of your consumers or your market as Ireland. Your market is the EU. You're marketing to the whole EU. I know for a fact the next time when COVID allows me to do an event, I want people flying in for my event because I fly to London for people's events. So why can't people fly to my event?
Yeah. This country, we know how to fly out.
Why can't people fly?
If it's one thing we know,
Smage did Afro Nation. He didn't hold it in London. He held it in Portugal.
And everybody
from the whole world. My friend from Canada was at Afro Nation in Portugal. She was going to the one in Puerto Rico as well. So when it comes to business, this whole thing of, oh yeah, I am a baker who lives in Tala. So my market is Tala, Lucan, wherever is close by here. That's my market. Your market should be, well, obviously for baking, maybe harder because you can't be shipping off stuff. But your market should be broad. There's 550 million people in the EU.
It's like,
if one person buys my product in Italy and they have, 20K followers, that's how that thing is going to spread, So I just feel people need to really
just think outside the box.
Think outside the box.
Know your niche, but be aware of the whole market.
Exactly. Like think outside the box. Don't be so confined and so constrained to, Ireland. That's why people say there's no support in Ireland. If people aren't supporting you in Ireland.
My friends.
If people aren't supporting you in Ireland, screw them.
Ireland,
there's a whole EU to look at.
Nah, so much.
Like when I see Adi posting that she's shipping her hair to this country, shipping her hair to that country, she doesn't care about Irish people. Like, so what? Okay, you're not buying my hair.
She's still getting her coins.
Someone in New Zealand is buying my hair. Stay there. I'm getting more money because they have to pay for shipping as well.
That's not to say that the Irish are not buying. Some of them are buying.
No, but it's just an example. Like the world. People will say, "Oh, the world is a village now." It is.
And the internet has made it so much smaller.
I can order something, get it the next day. I got Prime last week and I was shocked that I got my thing the next day.
Overall, in terms of like support, would you say that like our community does support like when the level of quality is there? Me personally, I think that the people that I know, when there's a level of quality, we have no issue being there. If they invite us, we'll go.
I think, quality, people support quality. But I do understand why people say there isn't support because it is very clicked. So if I'm from this clique and your clique doesn't like my clique, automatically you're not going to like what I do, which I think is so stupid.
And separating the person from the business.
Exactly, which is why I separated, myself from the business. But what was I saying? Yeah, I do understand why people say there isn't support, but what I always say, what I'm always going to drive home, if your work speaks for itself, people support the work.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with me, have your problem. You're still going to pay money to come to my event at the end of the day.
Exactly. Like people that shout, you don't support. I'm like, okay, then don't let them support you. Find somebody else to support you.
Find somebody else. And if Black people don't support you, Black people are 1% of this country's population.
Well, not even 1%.
Exactly. There are 4.5 million people in this whole country.
1.4.
If Black people don't support you, you have literally 4 million other people to support you.
There was a female, I don't want to say her name, there was a female artist complaining to me in the studio that, Black people are not supporting me. They don't like my music. I was like, yeah, your music is not for them. The white people, they will support you in due time. Just wait. Surely, and they are supporting her. They are loving her music because the quality speaks for itself. Mm-hmm. So it's like, don't focus on people that are not going to support you. If they'll come later on. That's why I feel. If your work is good, whatever you're doing,
that's it. Because people like to jump on a bandwagon. Yeah. So if they see that, everyone's supporting, okay, me too. Let me drag my leg and go and support. So
You were doing some calculation there.
Yeah, I was just checking to see how much our support is worth in the grand scheme of the total population.
Exactly.
It's just about 1%.
Yeah, worse. Let me not lie. But I've always said that the economy that we find ourselves in is quite small. Like, you have to be smart in how you maneuver in terms of what, like, be so savvy and who you know is important as well. And the the connections, partnerships, and even alliances that you're making on the way to like assessing your brand, you have to know what to do with them just because of where you are in Ireland. And like you said, the EU is a huge market that people forget that you can easily monetize from. So that being said, I really do think the future of Irish brands is quite bright because we're just in our inception of a little urban
Sorry, I think we also owe it to like the next generation to do excellence because the people from 20 years ago in this country, they tried what they were doing, but they never. I don't want to say they never, but there wasn't a lot of excellence done. So there wasn't a lot of stuff for people growing up now to look up to. So like I feel like we have
to set the standard.
We have to do that so that they can go absolutely in the country.
Absolutely. And that's I suppose what we're trying to do with all our brands, all the brands that's out, is just to keep going with it and to keep, how will I say, focused and to keep spotting the gaps in the markets to push yourself further and everybody further as well. But need to wrap it up because we're trying to be consistent with time. Consistency is key, they said. But before we wrap it up, do you have anything you'd like to promote? I know Corona is in the way of events, but is there anything like maybe any special projects you're working on that you might want to
I am working on a project.
Top secret or?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It literally depends on COVID. So if COVID allows it, you will see it. So if you want to see it, follow Resconcepts on Instagram.
There you go.
Or there's no.
Where does the name Resconcept come from?
Funny story, actually. So time when I was
sorry.
No, sorry. No, keep it quick. I'll keep it quick.
I'm joking.
So Resconcepts. When I was thinking of a name to do, I know for a fact I didn't want to put my name in it because like I don't want events by fee or fees events. Like that.
Shots.
Fee events.
I didn't want anything like that. I'm not.
She went French.
I'm not like trying to shade anybody or anything. Please don't come and beat me. I can't fight. But I didn't want anything like that at all. I literally wanted this thing to have its own identity. So I was like, okay, I have to think of something. So I was like, based on what I wanted to do. So it wasn't just, I'm going to throw parties because that generally wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to do different things. So I literally, English. What's that?
That's too much, isn't it?
When she listens back to this,
What's that thing called? The opposite of a dictionary.
Thesaurus.
Yeah, that thing. That's your best friend when you're trying to think of business names, man. So I literally put up, I searched thing. And then concept was a synonym of thing. I was like, oh, concept is a nice name. So then res actually means event in Latin. So I literally Googled.
Latin.
So it literally translates as event concepts or event things. Literally, if you really want to get
a load of this, go listen to the Latin dictionary and said, fuck it.
So when people ask me like, oh my God, how'd you come up with that name? I'm just like, I'm not some genius. So I'm literally just...
Who thinks, let me add some Latin to my business name?
No, it's not that I went to...
Thesaurus, bro.
It's not that I went to Latin. I literally Googled how to say event in different languages and the Latin one suited best.
Yeah, that's literally...
I'll still give you props for that. Languages came up that you could have put
I've seen Swahili, but I couldn't pronounce it. So... I couldn't pick that.
No, that makes sense. If you can't pronounce it,
I
had to keep it short and sweet as well.
Even the rest that I was saying, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. It could be res. It actually could be. Concept. It's just that res, like res. But I made it my thing, But that's how it came about.
Resconcepts.
Okay,
that's an interesting story. There you go. All right, that was a nice little episode, lads, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that conversation.
Nice Thanks for having me.
Hope you enjoyed yourself.
I'm gassed because I've listened to you guys since 2016. Is that when you started? 2017?
Wow. Yeah, 2017.
2017. I remember anyway. I've been listening to you since day one.
Wow, we got
3 years later, I'm finally here, even though So
we thank you for sticking with us through the inconsistency, but we promise we will do better. We will try our best to fulfill the content obligations, expectations, and all that going forward. But
you heard us. We said consistent.
It's for people. It's for people like yourselves that we're actually we want to keep putting content out because that's support.
I love speaking to people that are in this country doing whatever they're doing.
Do you know my favorite episode? This tell you how long I've been listening. When you guys brought Joey on to talk about finances and tax and that type of stuff, that's my favorite episode because I knew nothing about.
You're gonna enjoy the next episode then.
I know, good, because I knew nothing about tax. I just remember seeing PAYE, PRS. I didn't know anything. And
they're taking my money. Why?
Yeah, literally, I knew nothing about it. When he explained it, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. And literally since then, I actually took it upon myself to financially educate myself because you don't learn these things in school.
And that's what we try to do because we didn't know some of those stuff either. Yeah. And that's why we have these conversations because it's like, we have to educate ourselves in the things that we don't necessarily know. And also, like yourself, highlight what we're doing in our community. Like, we have to celebrate ourselves and also find out how you got to where you are.
Yeah, and learn from you as well.
If we don't shout about Dublin Island or Ireland in general, who will shout for us?
You know? Dublin City Island.
3 shots of tequila are not going to shout about us.
No. 90s baby, definitely.
They're not going to shout about us.
Don't come to the country. It's on site.
You heard
let them come himself. Come, Fred and Temi, come.
Nah, we're welcoming, but all I'm saying is we're here too, fam. We'll meet you at the airport, you get me?
We can get 50 people too.
We can block you, fam.
Anyways, you've been listening to the OhManPodcast. You can check us out on Spotify, SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Did I get it?
You got it. You got it.
Twice in a row.